Stonehenge landscape is also a massive graveyard.
It's possible that Stonehenge could have been used a type of temple for healing.
It's a mystery. That doesn't happen anywhere else at stone circles in the country.
Hey there! Ever wondered what secret Stonehenge has been hiding for thousands of years? Well, buckle up. New discoveries might just crack the case wide open.
So many people buried near Stonehenge.
Scientists have uncovered fresh clues about its purpose.
Actually, in the ditch that goes around the outside of the stone circle, animal bones were found, and some of those have been identified as aurochs.
From ancient rituals to cosmic alignments, it's not just a pile of rocks anymore. It's a story waiting to unfold. Could this finally solve the mystery?
Look at that, right there.
Stick around and let's dive into the latest findings that could rewrite history. Trust me, you won't want to miss this.
That means that there was a previously unknown civilization living right here of Bronze Age people. And that's who built Stonehenge.
So, what's new with Stonehenge? Let's start with the jaw-dropping discoveries shaking up everything we thought we knew.
But according to archaeologists, the truth may be far more intriguing.
In 2021, archaeologists unearthed a treasure trove at Durrington Walls just 2 miles away, a prehistoric hotspot packed with animal bones and pottery shards. Picture this: massive feasts where thousands gathered, chowing down on roasted pig under the open sky. It's like finding the VIP lounge to Stonehenge's main event, hinting that this wasn't a lone monument but part of a buzzing ritual complex tied to the land itself. Then, in 2024, technology took it up a notch. Laser scans lit up hidden carvings on Stonehenge's stones, daggers, axes, and cryptic symbols etched deep into the rock. These weren't just doodles, they suggest ceremonies, maybe even offerings to gods or ancestors. Imagine standing there, watching a priest carve these marks by firelight. It's a window into a world we're only beginning to grasp, where every stone held meaning. But there's more to chew on. A 2023 ground-penetrating radar survey revealed a ring of gigantic pits encircling Stonehenge, dubbed a superhenge. Each pit stretches over 10 meters wide, possibly once holding posts or stones that marked a sacred boundary. What lay within this circle? We're still guessing, but it screams significance, like discovering your favorite movie has a director's cut with extra scenes. This wasn't just a monument, it was the beating heart of something massive. These breakthroughs paint a vivid picture: Stonehenge as a stage for communal rites, tied to the sun, moon, and maybe the spirits of the departed. The feasts, the carvings, the hidden pits, they all whisper of a society that poured its soul into this place. Could these clues finally tell us why they built it? The answers are tantalizingly close and the story's just heating up. But what do these discoveries really mean? To figure that out, let's wrestle with the big question: what was Stonehenge actually for? Now that we've got these fresh clues, let's tackle the million-dollar mystery. Was Stonehenge a temple for rituals or a cosmic clock? Spoiler, it might be both, and that's where it gets juicy. Start with the ritual side. Archaeologists have dug up over 50,000 bone fragments from at least 63 cremated individuals inside the circle. That's no small graveyard. Couple that with the feast leftovers at Durrington Walls, piles of pig bones and broken pots, and you've got a scene straight out of an ancient blockbuster. People gathered here, maybe to mourn, maybe to celebrate, blending death and life in one sacred spot. Flip the coin and you hit the astronomy angle. The stones aren't just pretty, they're aligned with purpose. The heel stone catches the summer solstice sunrise like a spotlight, while the winter solstice sunset glows between the trilithons. It's too perfect to be random. Farmers back then needed to track seasons for planting, sure, but this feels bigger, like a celestial theater where the sun and moon took center stage. Ever wonder what it felt like to stand there at dawn watching the first rays hit? Here's where it gets wild. The blue stones, those smaller rocks hauled from Wales, might tie it all together. Some say they were sacred, maybe even healing stones, drawing pilgrims from afar. A 2023 study suggests the 56 Aubrey holes around the site could have tracked lunar eclipses, not just solstices. Picture this: priests predicting the sky's next move, the crowd gasping as the moon darkened. It's a prehistoric observatory with a spiritual twist. So, which is it, ritual hub or star chart? Why choose? Stonehenge could have been a multi-tool, a place to bury the dead, feast with the living, and sync with the heavens. The burials hint at honoring ancestors, the feasts suggest community, and the alignments scream cosmic awareness. It's like a Swiss Army knife of ancient life, blending the earthly and the divine. And that's not all. The deeper we dig, the more layers we find. What if its purpose shifted over time, adapting to new beliefs? That's the beauty of it. Stonehenge keeps us guessing, and every guess feels like a step closer to the truth. Those blue stones, though, how did they end up here? The answer might just blow your mind. Speaking of those blue stones, their story is a saga of its own. These rocks, weighing up to 4 tons each, hail from the Preseli Hills in Wales, 150 miles from Stonehenge. That's no weekend road trip. How did they make the trek? 2 theories duke it out: glaciers or grit. Some reckon Ice Age glaciers schlepped them east, dropping them near Salisbury Plain. Neat but shaky, recent studies show no glacial debris nearby, so that's looking like a long shot. That leaves human hands. Picture this: Neolithic crews dragging these boulders over hills and rivers, using sledges, rollers, and sheer willpower. A 2020 study spotted wear patterns on similar stones, backing up the idea they were hauled, not floated. It's a Herculean feat, hundreds of people, years of labor, all for a bunch of rocks. Why? The blue stones might have been holy. In Wales, springs near their quarry are still linked to healing, and bluestone chips pop up in graves like ancient good luck charms. Were they chasing magic? Here's a twist. In 2015, researchers found stone holes in Wales matching Stonehenge's layout, suggesting the bluestones were part of an older circle, uprooted and relocated. Maybe it was a power move, bringing a sacred site to unite tribes. Transport likely mixed rafts along rivers with overland pulls, a logistical nightmare fueled by determination. Think about it: feeding, housing, and motivating that workforce. It's a prehistoric project management marvel. And don't sleep on the sarsens, the bigger local stones. Sourced 20 miles away, each tipping 30 tons, they demanded ropes, levers, and sweat. Together, these stones show Stonehenge wasn't a solo gig. It drew effort from across regions, maybe even cultures. Was it faith, prestige, or something lost to time? The Bluestones' epic journey hints at a deeper story, one of belief and ambition etched into every mile they traveled. But who were the masterminds behind this colossal effort? Let's meet the builders and ponder their motives. So, who pulled off this stone-moving miracle? Say hello to the Neolithic people of 3000 BCE, part of Britain's Beaker culture. These weren't lone wanderers. They lived in tight-knit communities, trading goods like pottery and early metals across Europe. Near Stonehenge, 2022 digs uncovered their world: antler picks, bone shovels, and traces of small villages. These folks were engineers with basic tools, crafting a monument that's outlasted empires. How's that for a resume? Why they built it, though? That's the head-scratcher. One idea is a memorial. Cremated remains dot the site, suggesting it was a resting place for the special few. Chiefs, healers, or holy figures. But it wasn't just quiet mourning. The Durrington Walls feasts hint at a social hotspot where tribes swapped stories, goods, or vows. Imagine a bustling fairground with Stonehenge as the centerpiece, tying people together across miles. Then there's the healing angle. Those blue stones, trekked from Wales, might have lured the sick or desperate. Bones nearby show signs of injury, broken legs, bad teeth, hinting folks came seeking cures. Was it a prehistoric clinic, blessed by sacred rocks? Or take the astronomy route. Solstice alignments suggest seasonal rites, maybe led by shamans channeling the sun's power. Picture crowds at dawn, awestruck as light pierced the stones. Here's the kicker: Stonehenge wasn't static. It evolved, first in earthwork, then bluestones, later sarsens, over centuries. Each phase might have served a new need, from burial ground to cosmic shrine. That adaptability screams purpose, but what drove it? Duty to the dead? Awe of the sky? Maybe it was a flex, proof of what they could achieve. Building it took generations, passing the torch from parents to kids. Ever think about that kind of dedication? No diaries survive, just clues in the soil, tools, bones, and the stones themselves. yet each find paints a portrait, a people of skill, faith, and vision. Were they dreamers, leaving a legacy for us to decode? Stonehenge stands as their voice, loud and cryptic, daring us to listen. Stonehenge wasn't an island, though. It sat in a web of wonders. Let's zoom out and explore its neighborhood. Think Stonehenge stands alone? Think again. It's the star of a sprawling ancient stage. Around it lie Durrington walls, Woodhenge, and more, linked by paths and purpose. In 2023, ground-penetrating radar peeled back the turf, revealing ditches, mounds, and circles, like stumbling onto a lost metropolis. This wasn't just a monument, it was a sacred zip code. Take Durrington Walls 2 miles off. This giant enclosure housed hundreds, with digs unearthing pig feasts and even old latrines. It's where the builders crashed, a lively base camp for Stonehenge's creation. Then there's Woodhenge, a timber circle mirroring Stonehenge's solstice vibes. Was it a warm-up act swapped for stone to last forever? The shift's a puzzle worth chewing on. The avenue's another gem, a grand walkway from the River Avon to Stonehenge, flanked by burial barrows for the elite. It's a red carpet for rituals, guiding feet and spirits alike. And in 2024, those radar scans spotted a ring of pits, Stonehenge's Superhenge, marking a boundary or arena. What happened inside? Ceremonies, mysteries. It's a blank page begging for ink. Don't miss the Cursus, a mile-long earthwork nearby. Was it a raceway for souls or a wall between realms? No one's sure, but it adds to the vibe, a landscape pulsing with meaning. These sites weren't random, they wove a tapestry of life, death, and devotion, with Stonehenge as the knot tying it all together. Here's a cool twist: sound. Tests show the stones bounce echoes, turning chants into a surround sound spectacle. Imagine a ceremony, voices rippling through the circle, nature's own concert hall. This wasn't just a place to see, it was a place to feel. How would that hit you standing there 5,000 years ago? This wider lens shows Stonehenge as a hub, not a hermit. It drew people in, shaped their world, and left echoes we're still tracing. What else lies buried, waiting to spill its secrets? Uncovering Stonehenge's past isn't just shovels and luck. Today's tech is the real MVP. Drones buzz overhead, snapping aerial shots that reveal buried outlines, like in 2024 when faint shapes hinted at lost structures. It's a top-down time machine. Then there's 3D scanning, mapping every nick and curve of the stones. In 2023, it exposed carvings, axes, daggers, hidden for millennia, whispering tales of ancient hands. Ground-penetrating radar's a star too, peering underground without a spade. It mapped those Superhenge pits in 2022, proving the site's scale without disturbing a blade of grass. Pair that with isotope analysis, bones revealing travelers from Wales, and you've got a migration map tying back to the Bluestones. It's detective work with a high-tech edge. Pollen's a sleeper hit. Ancient grains show the area flipped from woods to fields, tracking how people tamed the wild. And don't skip archaeoacoustics, sound tests proving the stones amplify voices, hinting at chants or drums filling the air. Imagine that, a ritual alive with echoes, not just silence. Tech's saving Stonehenge too. Floods and erosion loom, but new drainage and sensors fight back, guarding this relic for tomorrow. Virtual reality's next, promising tours without footprints. Ever thought of strolling Stonehenge from your couch? Its preservation meets accessibility, and it's coming fast. These tools don't just find stuff, they connect dots, turning dirt into stories. What's next? Maybe A. I will crack codes we can't see yet. The tech's relentless, and Stonehenge's secrets are fair game. Stonehenge isn't solo in its mystery. Let's globetrot to its ancient cousins. Stonehenge has kin worldwide echoing its riddles. Take Newgrange, Ireland's 3200 BCE tomb. Its solstice sunbeam lights an inner chamber, mirroring Stonehenge's cosmic dance. Then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, 9600 BCE, with carved pillars screaming ritual before farming was a thing. It's a vibe Stonehenge shares, big builds, big ideas, no plows required. Avebury, 20 miles north, wraps a village in stones, part of Stonehenge's turf, and likely its partner in purpose. Think markets or rites. Across the channel, France's Carnac stones line up in thousands, teasing astronomy or fertility. Purpose TBD, but the parallels pop. These spots scream connection, shared blueprints across seas and centuries. Where ideas swapped like trade goods, they also shout teamwork. None were solo gigs. These societies rallied, planned, and built, leaving marks that still stun us. Stonehenge fits this global tale, a chapter in humanity's epic. What links them all? That's the next. Stonehenge's story isn't done. 2025 brings digs near the heel stone, hunting fresh finds like tools or bones. AI's on deck too, crunching data to spot patterns, maybe unlocking what eyes miss. It's high-stakes archaeology and the clock's ticking. Preservation's urgent, rains and floods gnaw at the stones, but new drainage and monitoring gear are armor against nature's wrath. Virtual tours loom, beaming Stonehenge worldwide without wear. Cool, right? Still the biggie lingers. Will we ever crack its core? Maybe not fully, and that's its magic. Always a tease, always a pull. Research rolls on, threats loom, but Stonehenge endures. What's its next chapter? We're about to find out.